Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Kick Me, your favorite crowdfunding news and reviews channel here on YouTube. So, today we're going to do a special episode. I definitely have never done a board game, card game, any kind of game on this channel, and I'm doing one today because this thing is pretty freaking cool. I'm talking about a Kickstarter project called StreetFighter, the miniatures game. StreetFighter, trademark. The miniatures game is an exciting, new, high-quality, pre-painted miniatures game. So, this one, I guess it actually met its $400,000 goal in like a day. So they've already passed almost 650,000, and 3,200 people have chipped in, and still almost a month to go, 4 weeks to go. By the time you see this, a little bit less, but still plenty of time to jump on board. And so what is it? Let's just play the video. Actually, the video starts out super slow. So the first thing when you look at this thing is like, hello, did these guys get the license or what? But apparently it is licensed. So it starts out with this, like literally just the game ripoff. 20 seconds later, 25 seconds later, we might actually start the commercial. So this is not just a ripoff of the game. As you can see, it is
celebrate
unique.
Over 30 years of the greatest fighting game franchise by playing in a whole new way. Welcome to Street Fighter, the miniatures game.
So, if you guys aren't familiar, there are actually a lot of these kind of games coming out, which are like you don't even need a board in some cases. It's like I don't know what the exact term is, but they're sort of like card games. Where you pull like different power-up cards and different function cards, and so one I used to play with some of my friends, very nerdy stuff, was called what was it called, Bang or Bang Bang or something like that, where you're basically who's the sheriff and who's the outlaw and all that kind of shit, or like Secret Napoleon, or I forgot what some of these other games some of my more nerdy friends used to play. So it's really awesome to see not just a new version of those, but one branded to a property that we all know and love. So if you're anywhere near my age or even much younger, you grew up with this shit. We used to play Street Fighter 2 in, what was that, junior high, high school. It was pretty big all through high school for me, and even college once the Super Nintendo came out, Super Famicom for those in Japan. And you could play it at home. It was like even huger. I remember even as recently as, say, 12, 13 years ago when I was living in Japan, I got an old Super Famicom, and I used to, Street Fighter cartridges in Japan are like a dime a dozen because literally everyone had one, so used ones are like 50 cents. Used to play all the time. So anyway, enough about my recollections and love for Street Fighter. I'm not a huge fan, but even as a non-gamer, it's been part of my, growing up years. So for people who are super Street Fighter fans, this is probably they're peeing their pants right now.
Your favorite fighter as you battle 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and even in up to 6-player free-for-alls on stages inspired directly from the video games. Using beautifully detailed collector-sized miniatures, you vie to outmaneuver your opponents by knocking them into 3D terrain.
So this is where this sort of departs from just the card game part. So it's got the cards and the power-ups and the whatever, but it's a miniatures-based game. So it's almost like, I don't know, like Dungeons and Dragons. I used to get those pewter figure things and paint them all. Or what's the bigger ones now? Warhammer. I think Warhammer's still around. That thing's been around forever. So it's like taking the RPG type thing with the figures plus the card games. So it's actually pretty cool.
Outsmarting them
if
by
it's done well. I
attacks,
assume it's done well.
outplaying them by building combos for maximum damage, and filling your meter gauge for powerful super and ultra combos to end the match in victory.
So I wonder, like, how much of it is in the implementation? If it's the characters you love doing it, is that cool enough? I think it's actually based on some pre-existing kind of battle simulator type thing, and then now it's basically branded to the Street Fighter universe. So that's actually hopefully makes it a good game. good implementation.
But the fun doesn't stop there. The boss modes adds this franchise's iconic villains. As 3 players team up to take on one overpowered boss player who will stop at nothing to crush all opposition.
This place shall become your grave. So now we have Bison here.
Through this exclusive Kickstarter's add-ons and unlockable free stretch goals, help us celebrate this long franchise's history with additional fighters from Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 5.
So, yeah, they actually, because it's a whole franchise, you have those newer games. Like, I think I'm maybe through Alpha, I actually recognize them. I don't even know Street Fighter 4 or 5 that much. Except that they exist. But yeah, so you can get, the hidden characters, bosses, whatever. So Guile, even that, I guess that's one of the issues is like some of the kind of standard ones, like Guile and stuff, or Fei Long. Fei Long, I guess, was in Street Fighter 3, right? They're not in the basic set, but as I mentioned, they've done quite well. So a bunch of these have been unlocked already, I think.
So what are you waiting for? Ready? Pledge, fight! Fight!
So pretty cool.
Has come.
And the key thing is licensed for use by Jasco Games, who was our presenter here, and they've done 5 things before. So I didn't even look. Let me look at what they did before. But they actually did. They did license it, but there is a key caveat here, which I think you can see here. It says basically subject to change in order for the expectations of Capcom. So they actually say way down here at the bottom, under like risks and stuff, that basically some items are pending approval from Capcom and will be updated throughout the campaign. Which means if Capcom suddenly comes back to them and says, "Hey, we didn't authorize this," or "your license only works for that." So there's actually some uncertainty here. And then there's another key issue is it's licensed, but it's only licensed in certain territories. So this is actually a big downer, especially for someone like me who lives in Asia. And I'm guessing it's because, if they got the rights for Japan, it would have been crazy a lot more. So they just bought the outside of Japan and outside of Asia rights or something like that. So if you really want this and you live in Asia, you got to find somebody who lives in North America or somewhere who's willing to order it or have it delivered to them and then bring it to you later or something like that. So if you want it, if you really want it, let me know and I'll ask my mom to pick it up and send it to me or mail it to you or whatever back in the U.S. There's a way around it. Anyway, but that's a big downer if you do live in Asia like me. But anyway, back to this thing. Let's just look at it really quickly. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's sort of if you took basically the backgrounds from the game and you made like a flat projection and even some of that kind of 8-bit looking, or 16-bit, I guess, technically, looking scenery. And they go into a lot of detail about, how the games work. And, the universal tactics system is, I guess, how they designed the game around. And they've got boss modes, they've got a bunch of different things, stage maps with 3D destructible terrain inspired straight from the video game. So that's like those, the crates and the, I don't know if there's Lexuses in there, but other stuff is in there. In the pledge, so they have basically the full set or the core box set. Core box set is actually only $80, which is, that's not cheap, but but that doesn't include the figure. So I guess if you have all the figures already, maybe you're happy with that. But if you want it with the figures, that's $140, which is not small money. But it does come with, 8 of these figures, plus extra maps, plus extra boss expansion, plus, that's a lot of extra maps, plus extra scenery stuff, the 3D terrain, and I guess some of this is in the core, I don't know. So it's a lot of stuff. And then the stretch goals, which they've already reached a couple of them. I think they've reached this one and this one already. So you got Guile included, so now it's actually 8 figures, I guess. No, 9 and 10, right? So that's pretty cool. And for the stretch goals, here they are. Okay, so 450, they passed that. They've passed this one, so they actually get better printing, which basically spot UV is like the little glossy parts of the box and stuff like that. And on the cards, the cards are thicker. You get some extra upgrade power-ups. I don't know if that's worth it. You get Blanca, and they're about to cross this in like a day or a few minutes even. And I'm guessing in the next month they're actually going to definitely get your E Honda, and who knows if you'll get these other ones. And I guess Dalsim is 800K. It kind of fades out, so I'm guess they're leaving it open to future. If they get past 1 million, who knows? Maybe you get everything. The figures are, pretty decent looking. In reality, they look pretty decent. In the 3D renderings, they look fucking awesome. But I guess that's the difference between that and that. Apparently, so these are 56 millimeter bases or whatever. They give some detail on them. 65 millimeters tall, 58 millimeter base. Some of them are slightly taller, I guess, depending on the figure. But that's not too bad. But then again, you can get like a Gachapon Dragon Ball type figure that looks similar to this with the translucent plastic and stuff. Those things, well, the good ones will cost you like 4 or 5 US. So, I mean, keep in mind that you're getting like 8 to 10 of these in that pack. So that adds up. Actually, that's like $40 worth of stuff. And you get your little fan service crotch shots of your favorite female character, I guess. They actually have like a show reel of all the renderings, not the real actual ones. But it is a Kickstarter. It's not like they've got. I hope they have real prototypes of all of them built. But it looks pretty cool, and you can jump through, and they've got literally like every single character in here. Let's see, where's Sagat? And where's the Mike Tyson one? I guess he's not in here. But Vega's in here. So yeah, pretty cool. And I guess the key thing is like that's what the render looks like versus that's what the real one looks like. Okay, so keep your expectations somewhat tempered. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. And the poses are good, and hopefully the manufacturing is as good. And I don't even know who that guy is. It's like Ryu's evil twin or whatever. So yeah, and then they've got info on all the guys and what they come in the decks and all that stuff. So I guess each person has one of these, and they keep track of their little power-ups and stuff on there. World's Strongest Woman. Yada yada yada. All the favorites. Zangief, whose country no longer, there's no more Soviet Union, but he's still around. So yeah, lots of great pictures and information in here. The terrain stuff, this kind of things. I guess you can sort of fall into it and destroy it. It looks like it's just sort of 3D foam puzzles or whatever. Nothing too fancy, but it looks okay. So yeah, and they go into some detail about kind of how the game goes. So if you really are into that stuff, you can check it in advance. And they've got examples of the rule book. I guess you can download the whole thing. Wow, that's pretty good. I didn't even look at that. So it's almost like it's open source. Like everything, they're presenting it to you now, and then all you got to do is help pay for it. And then there's add-ons that you can get, and yeah, you can get whichever character add-on characters you love the most, I suppose. Third Strike. I don't even know these things. Jesus, I'm that old. Who the hell is Laura and Nikali? Okay, you guys are gonna be embarrassed by my stupidity now because I'm that old school. But yeah, lots of covered. I'm sure lots of game blogs and stuff have covered this. They've even got some gameplay videos, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. And about the team, so they actually have faces. That's great to see too. So yeah, I'm actually, I'm cynical on these crowdfunding things. I wouldn't want to, most of the stuff I review, I wouldn't consider buying myself, which is why I give most of them bad reviews. But this one, you know, I'm not a huge Street Fighter fan, but even I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Um, and if you are, or you have a friend who's a huge Street Fighter fan, you would probably give him a pretty good birthday if you gave him this thing. Um, I was actually thinking about this. I was like, oh, I should email my friends and we all chip in and get it for our big Street Fighter fanatics friends. Um, I have one friend who actually really likes to play these kind of card game things. So if he could get it in Street Fighter form, he would probably really like that. Um, the difference is maybe he won't actually dress up for that stuff. Let's quickly look at the comments. This is amazing. Like, these people are having like active debates about the cards and the graphics and so they're highly vested and they're talking about how these figures compare to other figures that are on the market, and like literally this is just in the last 20 minutes there's 10 messages on this thing. So clearly, I won't fault the creators for not having their comments answered frequently enough, because like literally, look, there's like 2 pages worth of shit just in the last couple hours. So I can't even find something from the create. Here we are. So it's been 4 hours since they answered, and they're like on the 3rd page already. So yeah, they're like actually pretty engaged, and that's great. They've also got a lot of updates. So they talked about, I don't know what's in here because I can't see it, but they've been basically talking about how the Blanca's in here, and this power up and that power up, and let's get to Guile. Guile is here. So they unlocked the Guile in the first day or whatever, and yeah. So they're very active. They're very engaged. The only thing that sucks is they can't ship to freaking Asia. Let's just quickly look at some of their other stuff. So they've got this one, obviously, Mega Man. Oh man, that's pretty cool too. And I don't know what Dead Meat is. Tabletop mats cancel. Mega Man board game. So they had 2 Mega Man Pixel Tactics and board game. Let's see how this one went. This one, 2,000 people. Pretty decent. So yeah, this was quite a while ago, I guess. But let's see if there's any people demanding their money back. Oh, uh-oh. This guy, was this year? Uh-oh, okay. Let's check the newer one. Not some good feedbacks. Oh, wait, I gotta go back. Let's see. Okay, Mega Man board game, maybe not. Let's see if they've improved in the last couple of years. Mega Man Pixel Tactics. Complaints or no complaints? Loving it. Okay. Absolutely loving it. So it looks like they got their they've got their act together in the last. When was this one from? How many years ago? This is from last year. Okay, so clearly maybe whatever problems they had in 2014 they have resolved. So that's cool. And then, of course, also I should warn you, when you look at these comments from old projects, the only people who are going to leave comments are generally the ones who are like, I'm missing something, I never got it, dog ate my homework kind of situations where something got lost in the mail, whatever you want to say. So take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, they seem to be pretty active in updating everyone. So, as you can tell, I'm pretty biased on this one. I'm going to definitely give this a thumbs up. Check it out. Can't predict for sure that nothing bad is going to happen. Capcom could shut this whole thing down by saying, like, oh, you didn't actually get the rights for some reason or something like that. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if they're really going to deliver in... When is it supposed to deliver again? Estimated delivery March of 90, so it's going to take a year. Shit, okay. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so I guess if you can't wait, um, that's gonna really suck. But if you're patient and you're a real true fan, that's okay. One other thing though is I think they mention in here that this is a Kickstarter exclusive, and that's actually probably from their point of view very savvy, right? So if I'm looking at this thing and it says like I gotta wait till March 19th, March 2019, I might say fuck it. I'll just sorry, my bad language. I'll say F it. I'm gonna go and just wait till it comes out so that I don't have the risk and the having my money be taken and sat on for a year. But these guys say no way. If you want on board of this, it's only pre-order basically. So get it now or don't get it at all. Um, that's actually probably savvy from their point of view. Kind of sucks for the consumer, but if you want to support it, you got to support it now. You can't sit on the fence and wait. So anyway, fingers crossed that that actually happens. I have to say, it looks pretty cool if you are into Street Fighter and you're into this stuff. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up with a couple grains of salt. If you don't live in Asia, if you're not really impatient, if you got some money to burn because it is a bit pricey. But yeah, looks pretty cool if you're into nerdy games. Okay, so that's it for today. See you guys. Wow, this is probably one of my longest videos, and it's a positive one, not a rant. Okay, that's it for today. See you next time here on Go Kick Me. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter and gokickmedia.com. And yeah. So, other thing is a pretty busy next 2 weeks for me. I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be in like 2-3 different countries. So please forgive me if I don't put out as many videos as normal. But probably most of you stopped watching by now already. So that's going on deaf ears. See you next time. Bye.